Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. A warm welcome to all of you to the fourth episode of Power Hour titled Mind Matters. I am Dr. Vandana Nair, and I have with me today Ms. Aparna Vibhute, your host for today evening. I would like to start with a few lines that I thought would throw light on today's topic. The mind holds the key to the paths we will take. A life coach reminds us what's real and what's fake. They help us uncover the strength we conceal, turning our doubts into power we feel. With wisdom, they guide through the fog and the noise, helping us harness our inner voice. In matters of mind, they show us the way to break through the clouds and welcome the day. Through today's episode of Mind Matters, we embark on a journey of insight and self discovery. Today, we have a unique opportunity to learn, grow, and gain invaluable wisdom from the inspiring conversation with our esteemed guests. Today, together, we will explore the power of the mind, uncover new ways of thinking, and discover practical tools for personal growth and well being. Over to you, Aparna ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. It is truly a pleasure to be here at this forum where enthusiastic learners and esteemed industry professionals come together to satisfy their curiosity. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm honored to introduce our two distinguished guests for the evening. Our first guest is Miss Purnima Ghosla. Miss Purnima is a dedicated educator and coach with over 20 years of experience in education industry. She spent 10 years teaching economics at DPS Jaipur, where her exceptional teaching skills were recognized with numerous awards for achieving outstanding student results. Beyond the classroom, Purnima has contributed her expertise to several graphic novels, including topics like GST, credit score, and financial markets. With a deep passion for personal development, she holds multiple certifications, including being a certified life coach and neuro-linguistic programming trainer. Her work in personal growth has positively impacted numerous lives, guiding individuals to unlock their full potential. Currently, Ms. Purnima is teaching at the DPS Dubai, serving as an economics faculty. Her commitment to excellence, both in education and personal development, is truly commendable. Her ability to blend her teaching expertise with her coaching skills makes her a remarkable force in shaping lives and nurturing success. A warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Our next guest for this evening is Ms. Deepika NS. Ms. Deepika is a seasoned professional with over 7 years of counseling and coaching experience, dedicated to empowering executives and high achieving professionals to thrive both personally and professionally. Certified as a career analyst, happiness coach, mindfulness coach, and now a life coach, she specializes in career and executive coaching, guiding individuals through their professional journey towards their goals. With a passion for fostering positive change, Deepika has conducted workshops on happiness, mindfulness for corporates and educational institutions, impacting diverse audiences. In her current role at Tap My Back, she leverages her expertise to emphasize the importance of employee engagement, offering coaching and support to employees seeking professional and personal growth. Deepika's ultimate passion is helping individuals achieve a harmonious work life balance and build meaningful relationships. By providing tailored guidance and support, she enables individuals to embark on a journey of growth and achievement, paving the way to focus in both personal and professional lives. With her expertise, clients learn to balance career demands with personal fulfillment, creating a rewarding and balanced life. A warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the introduction. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
Now, let us start with our question and answer round. My first question is for you, Ms. Purnima. I have been a teacher for many years, just like you, ma'am. But many a times I find myself at a loss when the students experience so many challenges. How does being a life coach influence your approach to teaching?
So I have been in this industry for last 18 years. I have been a teacher for last 18 years. And for last 7 years, I am working towards developing myself as a coach. So I believe that before I was trained as a life coach, I was very much centric towards self. I was like, oh, I will need to deliver a best lesson. I need to become a better teacher. I need to influence children. So that approach has suddenly turned 360-degree. Now it's all student centric. So now I believe that, I have to make learning fun. I have to empower children. I have to make them realize that they can do anything. I make them, I actually I adopt a personalized approach where I realize that I observe that what are children's strengths, and how I can navigate through my teaching skills to help them to learn, to become a better learner. So my approach has suddenly changed, and I believe that now I have become a better teacher if I compare myself 10 years back.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am. It's great to see that how your teaching skills are enhancing your teaching, your life coaching skills are enhancing your teaching and helping your students not only learn but also grow personally.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Our next question to you, Ms. Deepika. When I first read your profile, I was actually quite intrigued to understand that at what moment do you really realize, or did you really realize that being a life coach was your calling?
Right. The word calling is, very, very appropriate, actually. I never actually, to be frank and honest, I never searched for career counseling certifications or life coach certifications. It just happened. I wasn't at all aware that this is where I'm supposed to be. It just happened at the right moment. That is what I feel. And I just, listened and heard to the calling and just followed the process from there. Even though I was working in the IT for 7 years, I was doing well. It was a well paid job, but I was never 100% satisfied. There was something that was still missing. The spark in the job was still missing. So I changed over my career to teaching. I was into teaching for 6 years. Though I loved interacting with the students, still, whenever I started talking to them, helping them with your concerns, that was when I was so truly satisfied with them. Even if I take calls at 9 o'clock in the night, now I am not tired at all because mentally I am so very satisfied that I'm helping somebody out there. Right. So from there, I think it just fell in place one after the other, career counseling and then life coaching. Now, when I see smiles on people's faces, it gives me immense satisfaction. And, it is just motivating me every day to do it beyond, my limits, basically.
Wow. It's much like how the world kind of comes together when it's meant for it to happen for you, kinds, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's really, really interesting. Thank you so much. Miss Purnima, we would like to
Yeah.
know from you now. As a psychologist myself, I have very often found that people are not extremely comfortable to seek help. And I'm not certain if you've experienced the same, which is what brings me to the next question. When is it that one can really identify for themselves that they need to meet a life coach?
I just want to quote an example. Generally, people join gym and they want to hire a personal trainer. So they can go and themselves, use machines and various exercise devices. Why they are hiring a personal trainer? So that the personal trainer would guide them and navigate them that this is the weakest part. Here you need to develop strength. This is the way you need to alter your diet so that you would become a stronger version of you. Same way, a life coach would train your mind muscles. It would help you to develop a kind of persona who believes in himself, who is able to, who become a resilient version of himself, who become emotionally intelligent, and live his life at its authentic self and fullest. So it is very important sometime to, talk to life coach wherever you feel stuck, wherever you are like, oh, what to do now, what next, where to, what steps should I take from this point of time. So on a light note, whenever you are feeling, especially addressing to children, whenever you are feeling you are hamster on a wheel, in spite of trying so much, not getting the results, you need a life coach. Whenever you are in a mode, oops, I forgot my homework, I am not able to remember the things which are required every day, I forgot my notebook at home, I forgot my practical state, you, I think, reach to a life coach. Whenever you are like, I would do tomorrow, and you procrastinate, and by the end of the term you are like, oh, now I have to learn this much, how would I be able to do, then you need a life coach. Whenever you want to upgrade your life, whenever you want to reach to a next level of yours, you need a life coach. Whenever you are doubtful that whether I will be able to achieve this, you need a life coach. On a serious note, whenever you see someone who is being bullied and not treated well, or maybe unfortunately you are somewhere in your life or not treated according to your ways, then you need a life coach. So I believe life coach is not something people have, that is something different from your day to day life. Life coach is just helping you to navigate on your difficult path. Whenever you find overwhelmed, whenever you are anxious, whenever you have exam pressure, you need a life coach. So that's what I believe. It's our day to day thing. We need a life coach. It's not something very, special or different.
Yes, if we want to succeed and we want to become resilient to what life throws at us pretty much, then we definitely need a life coach. Thank you so much for those inputs. That's very, very helpful for our children to understand and for us as well. Over the years, I don't think we've really gathered that much. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Our next question to you, Ms. Deepika. Goal setting is all about ensuring what one wants to focus on. Many a times we find students unable to ascertain what they truly want. Could you please share some tips for our students on how they can set smart goals for themselves?
Definitely. I think this is something which most students most often are getting stuck. So it is not just the students, even parents for that matter. A lot of times, the career and goals are not just related to the passion or interest the student has, but it has a lot of things associated with it. It could be peer pressure. It could be, the comparisons that we meet with relatives. It could be, the pressure that you're getting from the society that yes, everybody in the family is an engineer. I want my son or daughter to be an engineer. The entire family is a doctor family and I want my daughter to be a doctor. So this is how we have set limitations around us. And parents put in a lot of pressure. I don't say everybody, but 90% of them, they already have an assumption that yes, my son or my daughter should be this. A lot of times when I do counseling, parents come to me and they say, see, I want my son to do this. I don't know what you're going to do. Please convince him, which is not right. So, whenever you're deciding your goals, so setting goals is like you're choosing a destination before you're starting the journey. So, you don't know your destination, what is the point of your journey at all, right? And again, you might ask, okay, I'm still in grade 9, I'm still in grade 8. Why do you think I need to set goals? Why do you think I need to decide about my career? I still have a long way to go, right? So, ninth and 10th is a phase where you have to decide what is next. Science is not for everyone. You don't have to choose science when you're not interested in getting into medicine or engineering or anything related to science. And it is not bad to choose science, arts, or commerce. It's totally okay. So these are some pre assumptions, the myths which we have to overcome And it's a very good time to start thinking about the SMART goals. So when I say SMART goals, it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. That is what SMART says, right? So you don't have to like start figuring things out. Okay, this is what I want to be 10 years down the line. No. So your goals have to be cut short. Okay, after a year, this is what I want to see myself as. After 2 years, this is what I want to evolve as, not just, to the outer world, but also within me. So the growth is not just with respect to what people see, but the growth is also what's happening within me, especially teenagers and adolescents. I see them, they are unable to express their feelings, right? Be it with respect to their career choices, be it with respect to what exactly is happening within them with respect to their emotions and regulation of those emotions, which is very, very important at this point of time. So goals, both in the personal and career front, it is important to have short-term goals and also long-term goals.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for those practical tips. I'm sure our students will find them really helpful in setting realistic and achievable goals.
Ms. Purnima, we would like to know from you now. In a society where we only hear of every neighbor's child coming first and excelling in everything that they aspire for, comparisons pretty much are inevitable. And very often we find that students are grappling with the challenges of constantly being compared and literally wanting to break free from this. What strategies would you suggest to help them shift their focus away from this and to build what we call today a brand for themselves?
So again, I would like to quote an example here. So let's talk about a boy. Let's name him Ajay. So Ajay and his family owns a i10 car. Okay, so it's of Hyundai brand. I hope all the children are aware about it. Then he always used to feel envious from his classmate who is, I mean, a kind of a friend who is very close to him. But he and his family owns Creta. Now, Creta definitely is an SUV, and definitely it's a grand, magnificent car, and have good pickup and powerful engine. It looks nice, yeah, to drive that car. So Ajay used to feel envious and sometimes jealous also that I don't have that good car, and in fact he used to feel inferior. That even if he owns a car, then also that inferiority complex creeps in. That I don't have that kind of car with me. When would I buy that? But here's the catch. God has a different plan for him. God says that you can have whatever you put your mind into. You can have Hector or some good SUV, maybe BMW SUV or Audi SUV or maybe Land Rover. You can have these cars. So I just want to say that when you compare yourself with anyone, actually you become inferior, and you decide, and you are reaching to a level which is just not very big. But when you don't compare, and when you are appreciating others' things, appreciating others' successes, appreciating others' achievements, then your limit become limitless. You can have whatever you want. You just have to make plan, work towards it, and you can have that. But if you just feel envious and jealous from your friends or any classmates or any people, then actually you are putting your limit. So I believe that you should never compare yourself with anyone, because everyone is unique. You should not degrade yourself by comparison. Everyone is unique, and everyone is capable of achieving whatever is his caliber and whatever he can put his mind into. So don't belittle yourself. Don't become inferior by comparing yourself to the next level.
Thank you so much. Those are really helpful tips, I think. Just strive harder, reach for the stars, and it'll all be yours. It's all limitless. Thank you so much, ma'am, for those inputs.
Our next question to you, Ms. Deepika. Many a times we find that our students are experiencing various challenges which are either scholastic or non-scholastic. In what ways do you feel one can effectively support a child in these areas to ensure the personality develops well?
This is again to parents and also to teachers. I think we always listen to answer. In general, parents who are extremely busy with your own routine, with your own work, and even teachers who definitely have hundreds of children to handle, listening to that one child who needs your attention, you're just listening to answer. Okay, what is it? Come, tell me. Give your answer, walk out. Right? Instead, if you listen to respond and not react, half of the problems of the student, the challenges, will not look like a difficult challenge. Active listening is when you're there, you're present 100%. That is what mindfulness is all about. We hear about mindfulness everywhere these days. It's not just for the students. We don't have to just tell students and expect from students that they have to listen to our lecture. It's the other way around as well. To teachers, to parents. Listen without any distraction, without mobile phones in hand, without you engaging with someone else when you're also listening to what the student has to convey to you. And this is something that I'm definitely telling for the adults, right? It is also important to strike a balance. You don't have to always push the child to meet your expectations. Before you think about your expectations, understand what the child is capable of, understand what the child wants, right? It could be scholastic, it could be non scholastic. Academics is definitely important, but to keep the motivation, please encourage his or her interests as well. It could be art, anything outside the school. That small activity which this child is passionate about, when he or she is spending even like 20 minutes a day, that will refresh and rejuvenate their entire day's stress. And growth mindset is very important. When the child or parents or teachers, when we are stuck in that fixed mindset that no, this is what I am, this is what my child is, or this is what my student is, we have to overcome that and go to the next level. We have to encourage students that no, this is not what you are. You are than this. When you start motivating, child will feel okay, maybe, let me give a try. When you give a new set limitations, the child already has boundaries and the boundaries narrow down further. So it's not just a responsibility of a student or a child, but equally responsible parents and teachers should be aware of all of this.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your insights are really helpful for supporting balanced student development.
Knowing oneself is critical to growth, really. And many times, students tend to set knowing oneself is critical to growth. Many a times, students tend to set very unrealistic expectations for themselves and then experience distress. What techniques, Purnima ma'am, would you think a child can adopt in setting realistic academic and personal goals?
So, asking this question from a life coach, I would say no goal is unrealistic. But yes, we should be grounded also. So, I believe that, what is unrealistic goal? So, basically, according to me, it is, let's say, a child has something in his mind that he want to reach at that particular thing, then the timeline could be unrealistic. The goal cannot be. Yeah. So sometimes children get overwhelmed and they are so excited. They have all the energy and they set unrealistic. The goals are realistic, but the timeline that which they have decided is unrealistic.
Okay.
So I just want to quote an example here. Let's say, okay, so let's say someone wants to climb Everest. So for that, if he would make a target, okay, I intend to climb Everest, and in next 1 year I would be at Everest. So this could be an unrealistic goal because the timeline which he decided for himself is unrealistic. Because he need to train himself, he need to train his muscles, his legs, his body to climb mountains firstly, and then to the Everest. He can make a realistic goal like, okay, in next 1 year I would be at I have a target of reaching to Everest base camp. Then he would make plan weekly, monthly to work towards it. And then maybe in next 3 years I would be at Everest. So this is a realistic goal. Same way I tell my children also in my class that right now maybe you are scoring 70% marks or 65% marks. And if you think that in the next 4 months or in the next term you would be reaching to 95%, that is an unrealistic timeline, but not unrealistic goal. If you make this goal for next 2 years or 3 years, it is unrealistic. Because to reach at 95%, you need to become a person who is resilient enough, who has laser like focus, who can sit for long hours, where the children are unable to sit for 1 hour and they think that they would be scoring 95% because you have to mug up a lot to score 95%. So you need to become a person. And for that, you need to train yourself. It's not like whether you are capable of or not. Whatever you put your mind into, you start working towards it, aim, then you would reach. But the timeline should be realistic. So it should be like in next term, I would be scoring 75% marks. So that is a realistic goal. 65 to 75 can be achieved. Yeah. If he is studying right now for 1 hour, he could study 3 hours, he would be able to. And in the next term, maybe he would be able to reach to 85%. And in 2 years, he would be at 95%. So that is a realistic goal. So according to me, you need to write your goals because that is magical. So as you ask the technique, I'm telling you, I'm writing my goals, and that's why I'm here at this platform right now. So it was a big deal for me, where I am addressing children. Though I am teaching, I am surrounded by children for last 20 years. But yes, addressing and helping them in personal development, that is a big deal. That was a big deal for me. So I have written my goals. I write my goals. Make plans for it. I write steps monthly that I would be reaching to this level in next month, 1 month. And then I make long-term goals also. So just writing would not be enough. You have to make a concrete plan. Maybe for this week, I would be completing one chapter of economics, one chapter of maths, one chapter of accountancy or physics, chemistry, whatever your subjects are. In next month, I would be reaching to this level. And then I would be revising. And then I would be scoring 10% extra than the last term. That is a realistic goal. So make concrete plan. Just making the plan, writing the goals, and everything is on their mind definitely. But to work towards that, you may need to make concrete plan. Write it down that what you would be achieving by this time. That would help. So that is a realistic goal. So nothing according to me is unrealistic. Okay, children, you can achieve whatever you put your mind to.
I need to set some unrealistic goals for myself with a realistic timeline. Goals aren't unrealistic, yes, they are supposed to be realistic, but sometimes I feel, oh God, when will I get there? But yes, I absolutely loved what you said about how goals are realistic and it is the timeline that is unrealistic. So you need to set the right timeline and you will get what you want. Thank you so much, Purnima, ma'am. That's lovely.
Thank you.
Next question to you, Ms. Deepika. Since the life coaches help tackle day-to-day challenges too, in regard to cybersecurity and cyberbullying, what are the primary concerns you come across?
So with respect to cybersecurity and cyberbullying, I think the most common issue is with respect to the privacy and the information students, adolescents put in out there. Now in this era, when everybody is there on Instagram especially. So I am stepping on a bike, I click a selfie. I'm going to a cafe, I click a selfie. So I'm here, I'm doing this. So are you like giving your entire timeline there, a live update? Right? So you're putting your entire life history out there for people to know, for people to, follow. And you never know if every response is positive. A lot of people could be envious, a lot of people could be jealous. A lot of people would get new ideas. Okay, they're not at home. Let me just go do this. So putting every private information out there on the social media, it has become a kind of trend, right? So one student uploads something, the other student feels bad. So I do get a lot of students like this who says, my all my friends are enjoying their lives. I feel I'm nowhere closer to them. So how do you know that they're all enjoying life? The grass is always greener on the other side. We never know what's happening behind the reel. We never know what's happening behind Instagram with that student who has put a happy message out there. And everyone who's there on Instagram, I'm sure, would have that mask, happy mask, put in out there. We never know what's happening with them. So you don't have to pretend. Please acknowledge every emotion that's within you. You don't have to always stay happy to show your friends that you're happy. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be disappointed and frustrated as well. This is what I always tell my students who ever come for counseling. You have had a failure, somebody else had a success. So it's a success for them. Your failure, your success definition is different on what their success and their failure is. Not everybody's success and not everybody's failure is the same. And bullying happens when you're not putting your 100% out there. And when you're vulnerable, when somebody else is making fun of you, you don't have to be vulnerable. You don't have to be vulnerable to those people who are faking, right? Be vulnerable in front of your trustworthy people, in front of your loved ones, but not in front of others. You don't have to give a chance to them that, yes, I am scared about your comments. I am worried. What if people say this? So when you show your weaknesses, people are ready to put their strong feet on you. So that is when bullying happens. So bullying, especially in this digital world, it's even more easier with all the private information that's available out there. It could be pictures, it could be, the random information that you're putting out there. It could be the private information that you're putting out there. Please be aware and mindful about the information that you're sharing online. The information could be both good and bad. It could be used both in a good way and a bad way. It's very important to understand the silver lining between the two and be aware. This is how you're going to protect yourself.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing this. I think you have highlighted some of the important concerns related to this, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Now, a question for you, Ms. Purnima. The social environment around us is constantly evolving, so much so that we are today at a point where a well rounded personality is as important as good academic grades. And it's been seen many a times that children perform very well academically but are lacking skills in other spheres. How do you think they can be helped?
So again, I want to start with an example because I know that children understand better with examples. So I just want to quote one of my student. He topped 12th and then he topped CA, All India rank holder, and he got job in a very good MNC at a highest. I mean, among the highest paid CA he was. And in 6 months, you would not believe it, he fired from his job. And I was like, what actually happened? Because he was very bright child academically. I knew him personally. Why he was fired? Because somehow he had all the technical skills, but he did not have emotional and social skills, the collaboration, the teamwork, the proper communication skills. He lacked in all these things. So I believe that right now, what this generation is lacking is social interactions. Most of the time, they spend in front of the screen or maybe on social media interacting to multiple people. While playing games, they are also interacting to multiple people. But somehow the kind of characteristics, the character and personality which you need to become a well-rounded personality comes with social interactions. When you attend programs, when you go in social gathering, when you contribute to the community, there you develop the skills which are required, which actually help you become uh, better emotional. You would have better emotional skills. You would be able to control your emotions in a better way. You would become happier because social interactions makes us happier. You might have all experienced the COVID times. I believe at that time the problem of depression, sadness, and stress have increased a lot. It is all because of lack of social interactions. All the occupations were, online, and we were also teaching online, unable to interact with the children. We were not meeting to people, so that created a lot of sadness in the society. So I think social interactions are one of the way which would help them to become an all-rounded person. And if you see, like in big universities, let's take name of some big universities: Stanford, Oxford, University of Toronto. So all these universities always give scholarship to those children who are, even if scoring lesser than the toppers, but have well-rounded personality, who have participated in the school programs, who are better emotionally and have better social interactions, who are able to communicate well, who are able to gel up with the people in a better way, who have contributed in some or other way to the society. So they want to take those children who have empathy, who are having a well-rounded personality. So it's very important to participate in the program, go out with your families, attend the social gathering, play outside games. These are very crucial to develop yourself as a better human being. So becoming happy is also very important, and these activities makes you happy. Even if you are playing online for 10 hours, that would not make you happy. Even if you are sitting in front of Instagram or Twitter or maybe Snapchat, that would not make you happy. In fact, you start feeling drained. But when you are playing out, you become happy. When you are going out with your family, you become happy. When you are having dinner with your whole family, then you become happy, because that makes you a well-rounded personality. So it's very important, children, to understand how that going out with your family, playing outside, inculcate these things in your schedule, and definitely you would become a well-rounded person.
Some very, very interesting tips there. Thank you so much, ma'am. Very interesting insights, and I'm sure the kids have got some good inputs that they can cater to and factor in their regular schedule. Thank you.
My final question to you, Ms. Deepika. As a life coach, I'm sure your prime objective would be to ensure you are able to reach maximum number of people, which is great. But what, according to you, are its advantages and pitfalls? Further, do you feel social media platform have enhanced your reach?
This is, both fun and always stressful. The social media has a great reach. This helps not just the life coach, any profession for that matter, especially which is involving human interaction, right? So it is definitely a game changer. So you're there, you're able to reach to a maximum number of people, And that is something that is aligned with my passion as well, where I can impact as many people as possible. But then, there is a boundary that I set, the challenge of that personal connection that I can establish with people. When it is lesser, more interaction is possible. When number of people that I have around me are limited, I can give 100% of my attention to them. You don't have to put your leg everywhere. It's okay that, okay, I want to impact, I want to, be there for everyone who need help. So likewise, even for the students, right? So you don't have to like have hundreds of goals. You don't have to like be there everywhere. Though social media is there, though there are a lot of opportunities around us, though we have an advantage to reach out to a lot of people, still choose your goals right. Choose what is it that is of utmost priority at this point of time. So that way, with the boundary that is being set, I am able to dedicate my 100% self to them, and I'm satisfied as well. It's absolutely okay. So the pitfall, again, as I said, as I start expanding the boundaries, that is when that personal connection also diminishes. The line that I have, that diminishes. So instead, be satisfied with what you have. Keep growing one step a day. That definitely leads you to the larger goal that you've set for yourself.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we will move to the next part of our show. Some of our students are keen to conduct a rapid fire round with both of you. We may not be able to give you a hamper, ma'am, but surely you will get lot of loud applauses. Hope you are ready, ma'am. Over to you,
Yes.
Bismit.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bismeet Chabra. Get ready to put your thinking caps on because it's time for a rapid fire round. I'll be starting with you, Purnima ma'am. Are you ready?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. My first question to you, ma'am, is if you had to give an advice to your younger self on the basis of what you have learned, what would that be?
I would tell my younger self that, beta, believe in yourself. And whatever you have decided for yourself, go ahead with that. Don't change your plan. Maybe not sooner, but you would definitely achieve that. Don't go with the others' judgment. Don't limit yourself with others' judgment. You are capable of anything. Just work towards it and you would get it.
Amazing. Great advice, ma'am. I would definitely urge all of us sitting here to imbibe this advice into our actions. So, my next question to you, ma'am, is how do you practice self care or self love in your own life?
Bismith, I really do a lot of things which is helping me to inculcate self care in my schedule. So in the morning, I definitely go for gym. I always put exercise in my schedule. Being in my 40s, I also face some difficulties as I'm aging. But I keep exercise and I keep my schedule very active. Secondly, I always write gratitude. And the third thing is, which is very important for everyone here, that set goals for yourself. Because if you don't set goals for yourself, ultimately you are like, oh, I'm going nowhere. What else? What I should do? But if you have goals, you stay young. You are always working towards something which is bringing happiness to you. And setting goals means happiness. Setting goals means looking forward to the life. And I always keep some spare time for my fun activity, family time, watching movies, going out with the family. So, yes, I always practice self care.
That's amazing. While most of us think we love ourselves, the right way of doing it was depicted through your words. Okay, so my next question to you, ma'am, is what common misconception about life coaching have you heard the most?
That you need life coach when you have some big problem in your life. You can go to life coach whenever you want. Whenever you are like, oh, I want to discuss this thing, you can go to a life coach. Whenever you are like, oh, I'm not loving myself enough, I should go to a life coach. Maybe whenever you are like, oh, I am right now scoring 90%. I want to go to a life coach to score 95% in the next exam. So it's, yeah, you can approach life coach in your happy times also. It's just, level up your game. It's not about having problems and going to life coach. It's about all good, then also go to life coach to stay happy, to reach to your next level, to realize your full potential, to become a very happy version of you. Yeah. So
Thank you so much for the valuable insight. My next
my
question to you,
pleasure.
ma'am, is what book or quote has had the biggest impact on your coaching philosophy?
Mm, raise your standards.
Oh,
So raise your standard doesn't mean that having ego. Raise your standard means raising your standard where you are taking care of yourself more. Raising your standard when you are expecting more from yourself and you are not adjusting in something less. Raise your standard when you want to achieve big goals and when you are up to that, not limiting yourself that whether I would be able to achieve that or not. So that is raising your standard. So raising your standard in your life is very important.
thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to end this rapid fire round with my last question, which is if you weren't a life coach, what would you be doing?
I'm already doing teaching.
Like a life coach or a
Other than
teacher?
that,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. So I have keen interest in personal development, and also I could become a health coach where I would have done some kind of nutrition course and practicing nutrition and helping people to become to be better in their health.
That's a fascinating choice. With this, we
Yeah.
come to an end of this rapid fire round. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I hand it over to Siddharth to take it forward.
Good evening, Deepika ma'am. My name is Siddharth. Hope you're ready for your rapid fire questions.
Yes, Siddharth. Go on.
Okay, so for my first question, as a happiness coach, what brings you happiness?
Happiness is not just you being joyful. Happiness is when you accept yourself wholeheartedly, completely. That is, when I'm happy that I'm sad, when I'm happy that I'm angry, when I'm happy that I'm frustrated, that is when it is happiness.
Well, that sounds wonderful. It's great that something brings you joy and fulfillment. So, my next question is what song comes in your mind when you think of your profession?
Okay, so there were a lot of songs, I think. I'm a very bad person, especially, when I'm playing Antakshari, the songs don't come to my mind. So there is this song, I think, in Three Idiots or something, Amir Khan. So just keep going without, you are enough kind of a thing. So that is some, any song wherein it is putting effort, your effort is something that is important. I think that is something that resonates so very well with me.
I feel like those kind of songs have helped each one of us as students, especially. So, my next question
Yes.
is according to you, what's the most unusual life goal has a client set for themselves?
Unusual life goal. Interesting question. Okay, so I thankfully haven't had any situation where people come with unusual goals. But yes, there are some clients who come to me and they say, okay, I have everything in my life. I don't know what you're going to do, but I want my life to be better. Now, what is better according to you? You have to define that to me, right? So how
Right.
I am not having any magic wand in my hand that, okay, I tell bless you and you're better today, right? So having that clarity in your own mindset, and without that clarity, you come to a life coach or go to a doctor. If you don't explain your problem to a doctor, unfortunately, even doctor cannot cure the, symptoms that you have basically. So be clear with your mind, and that is when you get what you want.
Right. I mean, it's such an inspiring way to work with so many different people from different cultures and backgrounds. So, my next question will be what's
Yes.
the best piece of advice you've given a client?
So very recently, I came across a beautiful quote that resonated so very well with me as well, and I think I'm using that quote even during my sessions, which says, "Don't take success to your head, and don't take failures to your heart." When you're doing both of these or either of these, that is when you start feeling miserable. With that one success that you have in your life, you start feeling egoistic. You start feeling that, okay, I have had everything that I want. You're not opening doors for the new opportunities. And similarly, when you start sulking, when you start criticizing your own self with that one failure that you had because you're taking it to your heart, again, you're not looking at the opportunities that are coming your way. So be open for all the new opportunities that come your way, and that is what is going to bring you to that new success that you want.
That's actually quite powerful advice. And it's amazing how a single piece of advice can change someone's perspective. So, for my last question, can you name one destination that's on your bucket list that you haven't traveled yet?
Maldives. I think that is one place where I've been planning, but it is not happening. Yeah, maybe something that I definitely want to do. Snorkeling and scuba diving is something that I loved doing it once, long back. That gave me so much of peace of mind, and I definitely want to do that again in Maldives. Yeah.
I mean, that's an amazing destination, and I even personally have it on my bucket list. And with that, thank you for your wonderful answers. And back to you, ma'am.
Thank you, students. I hope our guests have enjoyed it as much as we loved hearing it from them. Today's talk has illuminated the power of life coaching in guiding individuals towards personal growth, fulfillment, and lasting change. Whether it's overcoming self doubt, achieving goals, or finding balance, we realize a life coach provides the support and strategies to unlock one's potential. As we wrap up, let's commit to living with intention, embracing change, and continuously striving to become the best versions of ourselves. On behalf of the organizing committee, Delhi Public School Bangalore East, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Deepika NS and Ms. Purnima Gosla for being a part of our talk show Mind Matters. Your passion and enthusiasm added a vibrant and captivating dimension to the event, making it a success. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to our management, our principal, Dr. Manila Carvalho, and our vice principal, Ms. Preeti Suta, for providing a platform where our students can benefit and thus cater to their intellectual curiosity. Our sincere thanks to Ms. Sonali Roy, head of the English department, and Ms. Yoni Dikshit from the English department for their constant support and guidance. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Ms. Vikranti Ashtikar, head of the Computer Science Department, along with the entire team. A special thanks to Ms. Sitali Nimma and Ms. Pallavi Srivastav for their technical support. Thank you, parents, teachers, and students for being a wonderful and enthusiastic audience. We hope that the experiences, stories, words of wisdom that our guests have shared will undoubtedly leave a lasting impact on all of us. Thank you for joining us and stay inspired on your path to self discovery. Thank you and have a good evening.